Yeah. So we do have a group clearing in an hour. It's called Fresh Start. I'll be clearing out lots of debris out of your energy field, open you up for a fresh start. Wouldn't that be cool? Alrighty, well, it's been a big year. Okay, so seeing your children as they are. This is quantum consciousness. And, okay, so here's the thing with our kids, with our children. You know, we have an emotional attachment, duh, and that emotional attachment doesn't really let us see our kids clearly, okay? So, especially when we have adult children, you know, the adult children want to be seen for who they are. They don't want to be treated like kids. And unfortunately, we have a tendency as parents to continually treat our children like we did when they were young, when they were small, when they were little, okay? That's actually not what we want to be doing, and I'm sure our kids would appreciate that we treated them like mature adults. And I get too, that's sometimes the kids are not acting like very mature adults, okay? But here's the bottom line. You can't control them, you can't change them. The biggest thing you can do is just continue to love them and love them unconditionally, because ultimately that's what everyone really wants. Everyone wants to be loved unconditionally. Period, bottom line. And when we see our children through our filters, through the lens of the past, then we really can't see them clearly for who they really are today. And I'm talking about, it doesn't matter what kids do, doesn't matter who they are, doesn't matter their wounding or if they're insecure or unstable. We still want to see them clearly. We still want to be able to experience them clearly and see them clearly. Okay? Hang on a second, let me just make sure. Yep, 28 and 30 and 20. Oh, Maria, yeah. Okay, cool. Yes, so fresh start today, people. Group clearing, fresh start in an hour, 55 minutes approximately. Yeah, so coming back to quantum consciousness, seeing your children as it's actually what we truly are, but the word, I couldn't get all the words in. So, you know, I went to California. I drove to California from Georgia, and saw my son. And you know, he's a mature adult, and he wants to be seen as an adult. I remember he used to say to me, "Mom, don't treat me like I'm your client," you know. And so that was different than treating him as a kid. But you know, we still we remember them. That's part of the problem, is we remember them when they were little, okay, when they were young. Unfortunately, we as they grow up, we're not seeing them as they're growing as clearly as we need to be, okay? Because as adults, as parents, most parents, I'm not going to say everybody, okay? Most parents love their kids, okay? Most parents want the best for their kids. Most parents want their children to be happy when they grow up, okay? They want them to be responsible, accountable. We prefer not to have to be worrying about them, stressing about them. And we do, okay? So I'm just going to remind you, there's also that feeling that that most parents have with their kids, and it has to do with trying to take care of them, trying to overcompensate and protect them, you know? So we don't want them to struggle, to be in pain, to have a lot of emotional pain. So, you know, on some levels, we're trying to save them from life, from the reality of life. So we try to protect them, we try to save them. The truth is we cannot, okay? No matter what, here's the thing. Let's just say there are soul agreements that your children have made to have certain experiences that they're going to have no matter what you do, okay? You cannot stop their lives from being traumatic. You cannot stop their suffering. You cannot make them happy. None of these things are possible. And again, it's all about you. You're the one that's trying to change your kid's life. You're the one trying to make it better. You're the one trying to intervene, protect, save. You are the one doing that, okay? So, because I am a parent, I'm a grandparent, and I do understand kids, and I do understand life, and I do understand human nature, and I totally understand how wounded we all are. And that wounding literally interferes with our ability to truly just love our kids unconditionally, okay? So think about this in your own world, in your own life. What was it like when your mother or father tried to tell you what to do, or tried to interfere, or tried to protect you, save you, judge you, find fault with you? What was that like? Okay, most everyone has an experience with their parents or their primary caregivers, caretakers, growing up, and we have a lot of resentments. We have a lot of judgments and blaming or feeling unseen. So, as a parent, ultimately, the greatest gift we can ever give our kids is to love them unconditionally. That means stop finding fault, stop looking for what's wrong, stop trying to control or interfere with their lives. Okay, if they wanted you to help them, if they wanted your opinion, or if they wanted your advice, they ask you. Isn't that true? When your kids want something from you, they will ask you. Otherwise, what they really want is for you to love them unconditionally, because that's the only way you will actually be able to see them clearly for who they really are, okay? So your children are just like you. They're adults, they're mature adults. They want to live their lives. They want their independence. They also want their parents to acknowledge and recognize who they are, their achievements, their accomplishments, their parenting if they have kids. So when we have our blinders on and we're, looking at our kids as though they're still children from the past, then we can't see them clearly. And we're not really loving them unconditionally, okay? I'm just looking at some of the people here, and some of you have been in my program, some of you are in my Know Thyself, and learning about life, learning about who we really are, and just remembering too the pain that they would my clients, students would experience with their kids, like the choices their kids make. Okay, I'll use an example. I'm not going to name any names, but having a parent be really upset, distressed, worried, concerned, and traumatized in some ways when their children chose to be vaccinated. Okay, so again, people, everything's a belief, everything's our own opinions, everything is based on our own selves, what we've learned, what we've discovered, what we've lived, and from there we determine and make decisions based on that. And we want our children to have the same beliefs or have the same opinions or have the same kinds of values that we have. And when that doesn't work, we have concern, we get worried, we stress, we even have fear and terror about, oh my goodness, what's going to happen now that that my children have been vaccinated. Okay, so just so y'all know, in my world, in my reality, I told my son, this is way back when vax was happening. I told him, I said, Nathan, I didn't get you vaccinated as a child for a reason. If you go get this vax now, I'm going to kick your butt. Okay, so that was my opinion. That was my, my own beliefs. And I do have my grandchildren they chose to be vaccinated. So rather than, I didn't go into any kind of stories, I didn't go into any kind of beliefs. basically all I did was just love them exactly as they are in the choices they made, because they are adults. Adults, okay? And as an adult, children want to have that right and have that ability to make their own choices, right or wrong. Now, how do we grow? How do all of us grow? How do you know what you know? It isn't because someone told you. It's because you had direct experience and you learned from your experience. You grew from your experience. What I do know about life is that we all learn through direct experience. Rarely are we going to learn through someone telling us. Occasionally that happens, but most of the time we all have to do it ourselves, because that's how we grow, that's how we learn, and that's how we also anchor in what is true and real for us, okay? And remember, most everything is a belief. I don't care what it is, everything is a belief, all right? And everyone has their beliefs. And in that, they have their opinions. So if you really want to create harmony, and if you really want to get deeper, grow deeper, more connected to your family, to your kids, to your children, the greatest thing you can possibly do for them is to love them unconditionally. Not finding fault, not making wrong, not judging, not giving them your opinions unless they ask for it. And basically accepting them in all of their choices and everything that they believe in, that they feel strongly about, that they have made the decisions or choices in their lives. It's as a soul evolving. Now let's get to the real deal here. Everyone is a soul evolving. Everyone has agreements and contracts that they will fulfill. Everyone is going to be in suffering. If you are alive on the planet, you will suffer. Bottom line, hands down, that's going to happen. Okay? The sooner you accept that, the sooner you can move on and face your life and keep moving forward. All right? So, as a soul evolving, there are certain things that each soul has to experience in order to evolve and grow and expand in consciousness. All right? What every soul wants ultimately is to be loved unconditionally. That means kind of like creation. Creation doesn't have emotions, people. Creation isn't hateful. It isn't even loving, okay? It's a frequency. Creation is a frequency. It's a frequency, basically, that holds non-judgment. It holds non-duality. It is basically an awareness, and awareness doesn't have any emotions or thoughts, okay? We are all that, all of that. And we are in a physical form on the planet. Now, ultimately, what we're all seeking and what our souls are doing is knowing itself in all ways that we can possibly know ourselves, because that is creation. Because ultimately, we are all going back into the oneness, back into pure awareness, no longer a Bonnie, no longer, a Janet or Beverly or Dorothy or anybody. Okay, we are all going back into the pure consciousness of awareness, ultimately. In the meantime, we are incarnating in places like planet Earth, other time and space, other dimensions, other parallel realities. None of that really matters. All that matters right here, right now, is that you start to understand that everyone wants unconditional love. You want unconditional love. I want unconditional love. We are all desiring unconditional love. So for you, in order to see your children as they really are, as they truly are, you need to hold unconditional love for your children. What that means is, when they make wrong choices, you don't find fault, make them wrong. Okay? When they have their own decisions, whatever those are, again, you're not finding fault, making them wrong. All right? But no matter what, you support them. You support and honor what they choose, what they want, what they desire. You support them when they fall down, because they're going to fall down. You support them when they get trashed, when their heart is broken. But you don't make them wrong, and you don't judge them. You don't find fault. You just love them unconditionally. Okay? So I'm just going to remove. way back, when you first had your children, when they were babies, infants, there was a very strong love for most everyone. Again, I can't be saying everyone anymore because none of it's true, but the majority of people really do love their children, okay? That heart gets, you feel this profound love for your children, all right? Over time, they start growing up, they get in trouble, you get mad at them, whatever, okay? Then they get older, teenagers, and then all this energy starts happening, and you're not feeling that same kind of, and a very big, potent, powerful love like you did when they were infants, okay? And the love is still there. So I'm just going to say and ask all of you that no matter what your children have done, some people are estranged from their children. Some people have had a lot of really intense experiences and trauma experiences, and sometimes there's been rifts that have happened and people go away, they go their own lives, they never talk to you again. So all those things can happen, but no matter what, unconditional love is really about you. When you have conditions on loving someone, then you have expectations, and you are actually the one who is creating a separation between you and your children, okay? So basically, no matter what you're living, no matter if they're connected to you, not connected to you, if there's a rift, again, it's all about you. You are the one that you have to feel. So think about what happens when you worry about your kids. You want to do what you can for your kids. You want to give them things. You want to support them. You want to interfere. You want to smother them. You want to dictate to them. You want them to be how you want them to be because you know better. None of this is true. None of this is real. Again, remember, your kid is a soul evolving. They were not always your kid in all of your past lives. Okay, they may have been a brother or sister. They may have been a lover. They may have been, someone who was controlling you or harming you. They could have been a torturer. They could have been an abuser. All right, they could have been a victimizer. Okay, you don't know. But bottom line is this: it's all about you, and it's all about you and your unconditional love. Because the more you can hold that, that is the greatest gift you can give your kids, and it allows for any kind of damage that's happened, any kind of dissensions, any kind of blockages, things of that nature. It allows for those things to start to dissolve and melt away, where you can come back to truly just feeling the frequency of unconditional love. Okay. Now remember, as a soul evolving, just like you, just like me, just like every human being alive, past, present, future, we are all souls evolving. The only way we grow and learn is through direct experience. So we must allow all peoples to have their experiences to grow and learn from those experiences. We cannot control them. And what's really cool is when we can let go of trying to control, trying to protect, trying to save, trying to make their lives better, all the things parents do. When we start to let go of all of that and just love them, and we do see them clearly. We do start to see, oh my goodness, wow, my son or my daughter, wow, look who they are. Look what they are doing in the world. Look what they're not doing in the world. Oh my goodness, yeah, they truly are a drug addict. Oh, okay, I get it. All right, love them anyway. Friggin' love them anyway, people. Unconditional love. Stop finding fault. Stop making wrong. Stop judging. Stop trying to save and protect because you cannot. That's a false feeling, a false state of feeling like you are, because you cannot and you will not. If there's something they're meant to experience, they will experience no matter what you do. Okay? I can't tell you how many people I've worked with that thought they were protecting their children, and the same thing happened. They got molested or violated or cheated on or stolen from or whatever, attacked, okay? You can't protect them from their soul's journey. And that's what's up. Everyone is on a soul journey. Everyone, including your children. So try to see them for who they really are and just love them unconditionally, and your veils, your blinders will be lifted and you will begin to see them. I just want to check to see if there's any kind of Okay, hang on. Whoops, I do want to answer something here. Hang on. I haven't taken, okay. Let me just say something about the clinic. I haven't taken the healing clinic or the other healing you have in groups because I have a strong panic attack socially. It's a circle I'm in. I've tried everything. I can't clear it. Okay, that's called social anxiety. One of our, just so you know, and he talks about it on our, David has social anxiety. Okay, he even came to a clearing, like what she's talking about, and he left. He didn't even come in through the door. So it took 2 sessions and it was over. Okay, he talks about it. I'm pretty sure he does on our side. Is David. He's a senior accelerator. Okay, so this, just so you know, the clinic is not a group of people. Okay, you will, I can't remember, but I think you come in and then someone will come get you or something when you come in. So it's not like there is someone there. I think Cynthia is there. Cynthia, do you know anything about the clinic? Cynthia is part of our group, and she's on our team, and I think she's in the clinic, and she does hang out with you or something, talk to you, let you know what's going on. But Cynthia can tell us. But basically, I'm just letting you know, you're not in a group. Okay, just so you know, you're not in a group. This is a private session for 15 minutes. Okay, all right. Okay, what was that? Okay, yeah. Hang on. There it is, right here. Is on David is on the YouTube channel. Okay. Okay, hang on a second. Here's another one. Do we have to talk or have it on video? And no, there's no video, but you do have to tell what you want. Okay, hang on a second. Cynthia, here it is. Cynthia's going to tell you. You don't have to talk in the healing clinic. When you get put in a breakout room with an accelerator, you do have to let them know what you want to work through, but that's one-on-one, just so you know. What? You often say that it's not what people think it is, referring to the clearings you do. Can you explain? Because I would expect someone would feel improvement at some point. What? I don't understand what you're saying. But basically, yeah, people do feel shifted after a clearing, even whether it's a group clearing or the semi-private clearing or a one-on-one session. People do feel shifted. They do feel changed. You often say it's not what people think it is. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I mean, people don't understand what a clearing is. That's actually true. But it doesn't mean that you don't feel different, because you do. Yeah, okay. I don't know what that is. All right. Okie dokie. You can buy mass. Okay. From within. Do we have? Okay. Okay, hang on. Here's a good one. Okay, what about what to do when your adult child sees you as the antithesis of who you are and is constantly falsely accusing and abusing you, which was challenging and is actually a gift that he refuses contact with me now. Okay, all right. Okay, well, here's keep remembering. Remember too, your kids grew up with you and they got their opinions of you. It doesn't matter. Here's the thing. If you just keep loving your kids no matter what, it doesn't matter what they say, what they think, what they believe, what they accuse you of, it will be life-changing for you. Remember, all you can feel is you. Your life is about you. It's not about anybody else. And if you got kids that are in some way abusing you, accusing you, when your body stays in a state of neutrality, because that actually is what happens when you do feel unconditional love. Okay, when you are in a state of unconditional love, all this is just static. It doesn't really mean anything. It's just opinions and people's hurt coming through. But when you are holding that unconditional love, it's almost like being untouchable. You're no longer reacting. You're no longer feeding the fuel, or, everything is an energy. So if your kid's attacking you, you're having some kind of reaction, okay? They feel that reaction and they're getting fueled by that. So when you stop that dance, there's no longer the same dance to play. It's like attacking you, accusing you, no longer has its value or fun anymore because this isn't responding. Okay, so there's all kinds of different scenarios, different things that happen for people in your lives, and it still comes down to you. You're the one who has to live with you. You're the one who feels you. You're the one who experiences you. And when you are experiencing unconditional love, you're not in a reactive state. Okay, hang on. What was that? Okay, hang on. I know I try to overcompensate my wounding of neglect and abandonment by overgiving to my must be little ones. It's not helpful. I know being a mom is so hard to separate. Yeah, it is. It is. And as you clear up your own wounding and neglect and abandonment, it will get easier and easier for you to love unconditionally. The problem with us overcompensating with our wounding is we do another kind of damage, okay? So we just can't win, can we? Okay. So my mom did one way, I did it different. My daughter did it differently. Okay. So we all overcompensated, for our experiences, tried to give our children the best, and no matter what, we mess people up. Okay. So that's part of what happens. We come here, we make mistakes, and then we grow from them, but the damage gets done. So again, people, unconditional love is the key. That's the key to everything. Your kids, love them unconditionally. Be there for them when they want you. Don't, do your best not to do smothering, but you can feel within your own self, your own energy. You can feel these overcompensating feelings. You can feel when you want to, like with this right here, you can feel when you want to, make it better for them and make sure you're not neglecting. So, but there's an emotional frequency. You can feel it in your body. Here's the thing, okay? You can feel when there is a charge in your body because you will have a sensation, a physical sensation. That physical sensation could be a charged, zingy energy, grabbing energy. All of those are red flags letting you know, wounding, reacting from wounding. Okay, so catch it, and remember, okay, I'm trying to do something here. This is an overcompensation. I'm afraid, I'm worried, I'm concerned, but wait, I'm feeling a charge in my body. That means there's something here for me. Let me go in and feel what this is so I can unravel this and then be more heartfelt, more unconditional loving to my children. All right, everyone, I'm going to take off because we've got our program coming up. And just a reminder, today is Fresh Start. I'm going to be clearing lots of debris, lots of trauma, the crisis you've been living. Let's get that crap out of your body. Let's create a new start for the new year. Sorry. And be more ready for the onslaught of what's to come. All right? Yeah. Okay, everyone. Yeah, if you haven't, get in on it because it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a big clearing. Fresh start happening in half an hour. All right, everyone. Until next time.